we have to talk about Kimberly Guilfoyle's speech. I spoke about this a little bit on, I went on Rising the Hill the other day. Spoke a little bit about it then to Crystal and Sagar, but I got to show you a little of this. I know you probably have already seen it on Twitter, or you saw it watching it, or you saw it when somebody else is making fun of it, but, you know, I got to get in on this fun. So Kimberly Guilfoyle, former Fox News host. Before that, she was actually Gavin Newsom's wife. Excuse me. I misgendered her. That was actually a total accident. I wasn't trying to make a joke. But anyway, I digress. Gavin Newsom's wife. Gavin Newsom's the governor of California. Looks like used car salesman, but I digress. And then now she's, big in right-wing circles. Somewhat part of the Trump administration, I guess. And she's, Don Jr.'s girlfriend. So she gave a speech, and man, did she go Insky.
America, it's all on the line. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You are capable. You are qualified. You are powerful, and you have the ability to choose your life and determine your destiny. Don't let the Democrats take you for granted. Don't let them step on you. Don't let them destroy your families, your lives, and your future. Don't let them kill future generations because they told you and brainwashed you and fed you lies that you weren't good enough. Like my parents, you can achieve your American dream. You can be that shining example to the world. Manifest and be the change in this country that you dream, that you hope, that you believe in. Stand for an American president who is fearless, who believes in you, and who loves this country and will fight for her. President Trump is the leader who will rebuild the promise of America and ensure that every citizen can realize their American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
That was so uncomfortable. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so, listen, you look at Don Jr.'s eyes in his speech, and, hey, the speculation on Twitter, of which I also participated, is that they were backstage with a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not making any accusations here, but what I am saying is, they probably look a little bit like Tony Montana with a giant mound of cocaine. Mountain. Hey, how many times have I said it? I honestly think the RNC would be better if everybody just step aside, give Trump 2 hours every night for the 4 days or whatever it is, have him with a giant mountain of cocaine or Adderall, and let him go. Just let him riff. I'd watch that. That'd be entertaining as hell. He'd be all over the place. He'd be bouncing off the walls. It would be fascinating. So anyway, they look like they were having some fun backstage. If I'm being kind to Don Jr., his eyes were just from drinking alcohol, but I don't think it was. But that's the kind interpretation. The energy here that Kimberly's given off, I mean, that's a upper if I've ever seen one in my entire life. How kind do we want to be to her? Did she have 4 cups of coffee before going out there? That's the kind interpretation. 2 Red Bulls, a couple Monster Energy drinks, something like that, possibly. But I know what it looks like to me. And when you look at Don Jr.'s eyes and when you look at her speech, you're going, okay, I see what happened here. Now, by the way, this is so funny because I joked about this. I was tweeting about it as it happened. And, oh my God, conservatives got so mad. They got so mad. But I'm like, this isn't even an attack. Like, I'm not saying it and wagging my finger and harshly judging. I'm saying, like, all right, y'all were partying backstage. That's what's up. Like, I'm not even mad at you. I'm not even, if I was giving a big convention speech, I would be on something. I would try to get my hands on something. Why? Because you got to take the edge off a little bit, man. You got to take the edge off a little bit. I mean, that's a big stage out there. How many people are watching? Probably millions if it's a convention speech. So I'm not judging them on that, but it's so funny that you say something that appears relatively obvious, like you think you're pointing out the obvious here, and conservatives are like, how dare you? Don Jr. responded to me and was like, you must have confused me with Hunter Biden. No. I mean, I'm sure he is doing coke somewhere too. That's fine. But I think you did it before your speech, bro. You want me to tell you, dog? Why is everybody so sensitive? And it's so funny because, like, this is not, like, you're not allowed... In polite society, you're just literally, like, nobody in mainstream media will touch this idea. Nobody. Even though it appears obvious, right? This actually reminds me of, remember when Trump was debating Hillary? And there were a couple debates where every time he spoke, he would be like that in between words. And what she's doing, what this one is doing. And people who know drugs were like, oh, that's an effect you get if you're snorting stuff, whether it's Adderall or Coke. That's an effect you get. Another thing is people have zoomed in on the pupils in some instances, and they've like, oh, okay, so your pupils are showing typical signs of drug use. Now, again, I'm not hating. In fact, in the case of Don Jr., like, that's the least objectionable thing about what he said that night. Actually, same with Kimberly Guilfoyle. The least objectionable thing of what they did that night. Because the arguments are just silly, you know. And by the way, I'm actually showing you the nicest part of Kimberly Guilfoyle's speech, just the flowery stuff. Because before it, she was doing the typical, like, radical left Marxism, Antifa, be afraid, bro, Fidel Castro, oh my God. Like, she was going with that, and I'm going, okay, here we go again with this utter nonsense. But then at the end there, you saw it's, Trump believes in you. The American dream is wonderful. You can determine your own destiny. Dems will destroy you and your family. They'll destroy you and your family. And my favorite is when they talk about freedom and liberty. It's so vapid unless you give specifics, bro. Like, here's one we could probably agree on. People should have the freedom to do coke if they want to. But, you know, it's illegal. Shouldn't be, but it is. I hate it when politicians talk about freedom and liberty because you try to hold them to it. Like, okay, do you believe in the freedom of somebody at the end of their life? They're terminally ill. They're in excruciating pain. They want to die comfortably. Are you in favor of physician-assisted suicide? No. That's too much freedom. You see what I'm saying? Like, they say they believe in freedom, then you test that principle, and they're like, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Should people be allowed to do online gambling, online poker? It's illegal. Republicans made it illegal. Should they be allowed to do that? No, not that. Too much freedom. Okay, then shut the hell up about freedom. You don't believe in it. But this is what it is. It's like vapid talking points. But listen, I will defend Don Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle because this was entertaining. I was laughing. When I was watching the DNC, I was depressed. And I think the reason I was depressed is because even though it's naive at this point, I still hope Democrats will be better. I still hope that there will be some degree of seriousness and some degree of like, okay, they're on it. You know? But no, I watched the DNC and it was platitudes and cliches and arrogance and Trump bad and personal stories about how great they think they are. It's insufferable. So I hated it. When I turn on the RNC, I mean, I'm turning it on because I kind of want to laugh. And I did. At Don Jr., at Kimberly Guilfoyle, at a bunch of the speakers. It was like half pissed off at just the blatant falsehoods. That's understandable. But then the other half is like, oh my God, these people are insane and it is hilarious. So anyway, go ahead. For all the conservatives who get pissed, keep getting pissed. I don't care. Like, again, I think I'm pointing out the obvious, but the thing I'm saying you're not even allowed to speculate about it in mainstream media. You're just not. You wouldn't be allowed to speculate that, hey, maybe they were blowing lines of coke backstage. My goodness, good sir. How could you? How could I what? See obvious signs of drug use, like bouncing off the walls and being so loud? Guys, I mean, I've had this experience. I'm sure some of you have too. When I was in college, I did Adderall every now and then because it's basically like legal cocaine. I mean, that's what it is. And so, I'd taken Adderall and I'd go drinking. You're not supposed to mix the two, but when you're in fucking college, you're an idiot, as was I. And like, you'll be talking to somebody and you're like telling a story and you think that you're so entertaining and you think that you're like nailing it. And then like, you'll notice that your friend is giving you a look like, almost like, can you please shut up? Like, you're annoying. You're annoying. And that is exactly what's going on with Kimberly Guilfoyle here. Bouncing off the walls, so happy. America, Donald Trump, yes! American dream! Unbelievable! Determine your destiny! She thinks she's like, I am freaking this right now, son. Hard body. And then everybody at home's like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? You're so weird, bro. So listen, it's a classic sign. And Don Jr.'s eyes are a classic sign. But I want to reiterate, I'm not hating. I would have joined him backstage. Why not? You're giving a big speech? Shit, give me something. Got to take the edge off. Maybe I would have gone in the other direction, though, and like, I don't know, give me a Xanax or something. But yeah, got to take the edge off some way. So I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying it's pretty clear what I think happened.